out there in the street, the first thing I told him, dude, you want me to do that? You gotta give me a gun. That's the first thing I told him. You want me to deal with these people? Because I see what these people doing. 8th Street Park. Come on, that's where my mama lived right there. All the pimps, all the everybody. They used to shoot dice right there. Police come, kick the money in the bushes. We go get the money. You know what I'm saying? So I was always, like I said, I was around it, but I never really got all the way in it.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are 100 Years Enterprise, Season 7, Consequences of the Street Life. We got to always get that right. Hey, man, this is 2026. We got a beautiful guest on today. I like when people reach out to us. That means we going somewhere, and they kind of like feel it to get energy of what we bring in to the community, to the world, to the masses. But before we go there, I want to just introduce myself. My name is Fahim.
I'm Patrick. You know, man. Hey, man, it's a spectacular year, man, coming up, man. The beauty of it this year, man, 2026, that we alive. We still above concrete.
Right.
So it's a blessing, man. You know, a lot of people's not here. So, you know, it's just a blessing, man. I have no complaints, man. And like I say, man, let's kick this off.
Hey, we breathing. You know, and we have to always give, thanks and praise to God the Most High. And before we go there, I want to give a shout out to our cameraman and camera behind the camera. And so with this new season, with this new production, and it's always good to try new things, see new things, and just to see where it takes us. And with that being said, we want to welcome our guest. And this particular guest, he have a unique background. What I'm sure many people might have questioned the connections, maybe have misrepresented, misunderstood the things that he went through. And we're going to get there. It's important that we get there because sometimes history get lost where it shouldn't have. And we're going to go back to that history. And with that being said, my brother, please introduce yourself to the show. And what's your name?
What's up, y'all? For those that do know me, I'm Pappa. That's what they call me in Richmond. Deandre Proctor is my name.
Absolutely.
I reinvented myself because I want to get back into the industry. So Pappa Doc is my name. That's what I'm going by nowadays. But Pappa is going to always be there, you know?
Yeah. I always knew you by Pappa. And when I first heard the Doc piece, so we want to talk about history. A mutual friend of ours always saying Pappa Doc. I'm like, man, who the heck is Pappa Doc? He like, man, you know Pappa. I said, man, I don't know no Pappa Doc, man. He was always saying it, Free Jack, right? And so he's supposed to be here today. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. I'm going to give a shout out to Free Jack, Freeman Williams, man. He's a good friend of ours.
And my artist. He's been my artist since high school. So it's, like I said, so much history in all of this and how we all really connect.
Let's start there. How do you and Freeman and Free Jack connect?
Well,
a little history on that.
Richmond High, him and Lorenzo. But in Richmond High, I was like breakdancing, always in the breakdancing groups with the DJs. Like I said, I was always into the arts.
Right.
Art class, whatever, drawing and all. So at those times back then, hip hop, we in circles all the time, breakdancing.
And what year was that?
I would want to say 84, 85.
84,
Okay.
84, 85, something like that. Yeah, Richmond High. Because I graduated in 87. Yeah, so I want to say 84, 85. And, get in the circle. There's freestyling going on. There's somebody beating, boxing, and all that. That's how we came up in the art of hip-hop. We gathered that from, the New York stuff we was seeing, and we had like our own kind of niche going on then. We had, like I say, break dancers, we had MCs, had DJs, had a lot of partners that was DJs and break dancers with me. But Free Jack and Low, they came to one of the rap circles one day. They was fresh out of junior high, ninth graders, and they jumped in a circle one day and just bust out the whole thing. They was like a Run DMC duo. Boom, 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 boom. Like, what the heck is these little dudes doing?
Right.
But them not knowing at the time, I was into music also, and me and my cousin Put, Jerome Proctor, Big Put.
Yeah.
We had a record company back then, because we was, entrepreneurs then. We, was...
I know he gonna jump in.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm listening. No, I'm
About
feeling.
the
No. Go ahead.
entrepreneurship.
Go ahead. Shoot your shot.
Could we been talking about this education and entrepreneurship at a young age? And you just hit it. And here it is again. Young age, entrepreneurship, business minded. That's all I wanted to.
Well, yeah. Well, it came from the streets. Like I heard a little earlier a conversation you guys were having, and like y'all brought up the scale and things like that. But all aspect of life is math. Your breathing, your sight, your driving, everything is math. It's a mathematical equation. And I say that because even your situations, it's all strategically done, which is math. Everything has a time, everything has a date, everything has a number. Everything has a number to it. So, but going back to the scales and all that, I'm a carpenter now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got in the trades and everything. But when I first got in there, I didn't know how to read a tape.
Tape measure. Yep.
I can weigh all the dope in the world. I did not know how to read a tape measure.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't figure this out for nothing. They showing me. I'm like, I don't get it. So what I did was took it back to the triple beam. An eighth is an eighth. 2 eighths is a quarter. 2 quarters is a half. 2 halves is an ounce, which I turned to 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch.
Absolutely.
16/16
Yes.
is an ounce, which is an inch.
Just like that.
I'm a master carpenter now.
Okay. So maybe in kind, because I'm trying to make some connections here. When you was talking about, the birth of hip hop, and we know it come from New York, of course, but in the Bay, right? Particularly you were talking about where Richmond, right? You said 83, 84. Was you going around Berkeley too? Was y'all going to Berkeley and?
Yeah, we'll go to Berkeley. Because we want to emulate what we saw. New York, because they was at the subways breakdancing. So we had the BART station. We'll go to the BART station and breakdance.
Right.
Go to Berkeley. Like I said, the Performing Arts Center is right here in the back of us right here.
Okay.
I was always there. I was an advocate of Performing Arts Center. If I wasn't out running the street with my brothers and all them, I was always over here doing something.
Okay.
I used to always, like I said, I draw. I'm an artist. I draw. So I used to have artwork in the Richmond Art Museum down here. So I've won prizes for art and all that kind of stuff and things like that. So I used to always be in the culture of creation and art and music. Okay. But that was our drive when we saw, the break dancing and then Run DMC with their things. So like I say, that's where the MCs came out, bussin' and all that stuff. But to go back, that's where Free Jack and Lorenzo, and that's where I met them at. So we had rap groups at the time, me and my cousin. We had the Legit Boys that was from North Richmond. That's Boogaloo, DJ Doe, and Cool E. Yep. That was our group.
Okay.
That's the ones that was on the radio at the time.
Yeah.
That's the ones that was. So then we had YBI, Young Brothers Incorporated. Now, out of Young Brothers Incorporated, because my cousin passed on me, accident or whatever happened, unfortunately, and it's a lot of crazy shit, but he passed, and I had to keep things going.
That was the cousin who started with you now?
No, he passed. He
was it a car accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the feds was chasing him, and they had the car accident.
Right.
And he never came out of the accident. And like I said, those are like my street life stories. Like I said, when y'all talk about what part of that street stuff changed you and affected you and things like that. So things like that which affected me is things like that because we were really business partners. We had lots of money.
Right.
Lots and lots and lots of money. I mean, even the incident from that happening, we had just got through counting like a couple hundred bands, you know what I'm saying? And looking at our old list, who owe us, and counting the rest of the shit that
And
we
how old were you at that time?
I would probably say 20.
So you was 20 years old counting hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was plentiful back then.
Oh, I was at my grandmama's house counting some money one day, and my uncle walked in, and he was like, "Where the heck you get all that money?" I was like, "Dude, from the street." And well, how much is that? I'm up to 75 right now. I still got this over here to count, you know. But streets was plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
The streets was plentiful. The game was good, you know. I can say to me, I was blessed. I'm going to say that I was blessed to not be caught up.
Right.
I was in it, but I was never caught up. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be around, and I'll always be solo. I've always been solo. So it was me and my gun. That's it.
Right.
I always had a 2-seater car. That was for my dope. You know what I'm saying?
Or your fast food.
Huh?
Or your fast food.
Oh man, man, ride up. My boys come, you know, checking traps. You know what I mean? It's already bagged up. They know what to grab. Throw the money in the car. Boom, I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. You know I'm Free Jack. Y'all went to Richmond High. You in the music, breakdance, and he's a young rapper coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about him that said, "Hey, I want to do something with you. I see something in you, and let's do it together"?
Creativity, his style, his swag. I mean, he had a lot of that. And then at that time, hip hop was new. It was all fresh. And him and Low, I'm gonna say both because they were a team, and they were locked in. And it was like unheard of. It's like, dang, these little dudes got it. Like what we would compare to Run DMC. They're like Run DMC. We got to get them locked in, you know. And like I was gonna say, YBI later became Mafioso. Because Laurel is my cousin, my little cousin. He was part of Young Brothers Incorporated.
Okay.
Him and Jermont. And like I said, after Kaput died, Laurel was still trying to figure out what he wanted to do. So I put him and Kevin, which are my little cousins, I put them together and started Mafioso.
I never knew that. And I used to hear about it when I was in YA. At the pen with a Mafioso, all them little young groups. Now we going somewhere with this. Because I met Free Jack Freeman in 1995. We was in Solano. So we always in Solano together. We was in building 4. And I was always, you know, he ain't bust his little raps and everything, but I ain't paying no mind. You know, I'm still only 8 years in from the streets, you know, maybe 7 years at the time. So I'm like, man, but you know, I took a like, we kind of got pretty close. And
He's solid. He's a solid cat.
Yeah.
He's a solid cat. He told me about all that stuff, his Kumi days and all that.
Yep.
Soldier in Arms and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have folks go in and out. But yeah, he's a solid cat. He definitely, if he on your side, he definitely on your side deep. But that's a whole nother thing because even outside the music, he started to hang. And like I said, I'm a young kid with no money in his pocket. I got all this fucking wealth. I mean, I share it, you know what I mean? He's a $quarter pound, man. Put some money in your pocket and we're going to make this right. So he was part of, you know what I'm saying, the game with me too. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know how solid he is because of those things too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So in regards to that, because that's good. I met him through my brother. Was I with him in Solano with him?
Yeah, you was there too.
I mean, too, but I know he ran with my brother and him was close. Reese Scott. Yeah, they called him Reese. But Yeah, so they got their bond through the Kumi and whatever the case may be.
I like, for things like that. I mean, like I said, I've never been in those organizations or an organization or anything like that. But for what they preach and what they're about, and those brothers are really solid with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of things that we need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they could have brought, I know they was doing it for protection and what they needed to do it for in there or whatever, and it made a strong bond. But if they would have brought that to the street and let that accumulate in the neighborhood, and instead of getting in the street and being back part of the street and then letting that die off, you know what I mean? It'll flowered into something really good without being part of a church or feeling that you have to go and do this. But, and me, myself, like I said, I've been in these streets and I've dealt with a lot of different things, but the unity of things is so broken that it's really kind of hard to mend.
Yeah, we fight that every day. When I mean that, it's a challenge for us. Not fight it. That's too strong a word. In our organization, 100 Years Enterprise, we tend to put that in the forefront of our relationship. Like, the bond got to be true because we got work to do. We got things we trying to do, and we got to work together. We can't do it alone.
Right.
So that's big, on that front. But going back to your point you made about coming up into the music industry and before there was the rap aspect, when rap started taking off, you kind of, I'm going to segue to Fi because I know you was talking about that. You segued to a few groups, right? And you came across a gentleman, right, that's very, very popular. I think you want to set it straight.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do, exactly. Actually, I'm going to go there. But before I do, because where you grew up at, and I want to connect it to this day and time, you have family in Central and North Richmond.
And South Side.
And the South Side.
Yeah.
Right? But you never got caught up. And so when I say Central, I want to say P7.
Right. On Elm. Right
well,
there.
You stayed
Elm
on
and
Elm.
8th Street, yeah, but P7 is right there.
If you say Elm, which is around the corner.
Right, yeah.
When we came up there, we didn't say Elm. We said P7 because it was all recognized unless it was 6th Street, 9th Street.
Right.
Do we know how that went, right?
8th Street and all
but
that, yeah.
say Elm, P7, all that connected, right? How did Pappa not get caught up from going across the tracks? Because the tracks were nothing but maybe 300 yards away from you.
I went everywhere. I walked the tracks.
You right there.
I go Perry School, tell my mom that I'm going to Perry School to play basketball.
Yeah.
Go behind the bushes, hop the fence, walk the tracks North Richmond. Because I had uncles out there. Back then we called them winos. They all sit out in front of North Richmond Liquor and all the OGs then. But I had uncles over there, and I knew where they hung out at, Ace of Club and all that kind of stuff. So me and my little cousin Carlos, you know what I mean, we'd hike our ass right on to North Richmond.
What's Carlos Spearman?
Yeah.
That's his partner.
Carlos Spearman. Yeah, because me and Carlos had me come to P7 to come mess with him. Yeah, because I was from Norfolk, but he used to go to Johnny 77 over there. That's where we used to hang out. I was a little hub with a little bar, a little hole in the wall over there on South Rapper in Berkeley. But I was in Byron with him. And that was my partner. We got out, kept our relationship.
Oh, good. Wow, I'm surprised we never met because that's my little brother.
Carlos Spearman.
That was my little brother.
That's your little brother?
Well, my aunt and my mom were sisters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we're almost the same age. So he was with me, I was with him. It just that's like my little brother.
He always grab my shirt. I was like, man, why? I was be when he grab your shirt.
It was hard being his friend. That's why I used to feel sorry for his friend. I used to always have to beat him up for his friends. He didn't mean no harm.
Right.
It just he wants you to be tough as him. Come on, man. We gonna do this and that. You gonna go with me.
Or just
be like
feel
this.
his motion.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He's always wrinkle my shirts up though. I be somewhere kicking him, somewhere flying. He grab my shirt. I like, oh, my shirt. But anyway, man. Peace out to him, man. Rest in peace, man. That was my partner, man.
I was in the county when that happened. I was like, man. Yeah, I mean, we always going to be him, babes, all that. We gonna get there too. Put everybody up, man. Yeah. So you missed?
So I went to North. Richmond, dude. I mean, back when I was a kid in Richmond, it's just, I mean, there's always action.
Mm-hmm.
There was always action, stabbing, anything, fights. I mean, it seemed like they opened up the J Ward and they're older than us. Everybody in Richmond at the J Ward.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Parker, the big black dude. I seen him jump up in the air one day and kick the police car that was chasing him.
Yep.
You know, these acrobatic kind of crazy stunted people. And me
So
as a
Park
kid,
Mark?
not Park Mark.
Kenny
Park Mark. Kenny.
The other Parkers. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, other Kenny, big, crazy Kenny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, as a kid, me and him, we just used to travel through all these places, and we had so many relatives, like the Clarks, like Park Mark and all that,
Yeah.
like Brother Roy.
Brother Roy.
That's my cousin.
Yeah.
The Clarks, they're my cousins and all that.
And
kind
we
of
got
stuff.
mutual cousins. Well,
Yeah.
your uncle's my first cousin, Garland.
Exactly. Well, when y'all situation went down,
Yeah.
that's how I found out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, we can go way back. Like I say, the street stuff. When my cousin Maurice got shot when we was in junior high school, he got riding his moped down the street.
Yeah.
Somebody shot him in the head. You know,
Yep.
I had to look at the newspaper at my cousin. You know,
I was like 9, 10 years old. I
Yeah,
remember that.
we was in-
Actually, that happened by my auntie house.
going up
down
the street.
Virginia.
Yeah, by the
The old pool hall and all that.
yeah, right there.
Right
at
around
that
the
street
corner.
right
Yeah,
there.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maurice Godfrey.
Maurice, yeah.
Yup. Man.
Like I say, dude.
He tied the
They our family.
Like I say, dude, Richmond. Well, I'm gonna say for myself,
Mm-hmm.
I am damn near kin to. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
damn near, because my family is. I mean, we the Vaughns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Charles Vaughn and all them kind of. Because that's part of my family. And then, I mean, I think my grandparents had like 12, 13 kids. You know what I'm saying? Then the Vaughns, which is my cousins, I think there was like 13, 14 of them. You know what I mean? And then everybody spread it out through North Richmond because everybody started in North Richmond.
Right.
You know, because my pawpaw, which owned, I forget the street in North Richmond. It's a back street back there after the Ace of Club. It's in the back
Gertrude.
back there.
Not Gertrude?
No, it's not it's down by Du Bois and all
Du Bois,
that, but it's in the back right there. But my pawpaw owned that whole
Yeah,
block
Alamo.
back there. Yeah,
Alamo?
in the back. Yeah,
Okay.
That whole my pawpaw owned that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and my grandparents moved to Central on Ripley,
Okay.
right there on Ripley, right on Pennsylvania and Ripley, right there. That's where my grandparents bought a house for $5,000.
Ain't that something?
$5,000.
How much is it worth today?
Well, my aunts and them sold it, and it $5,000 was
Probably
far
half
beyond.
a million, probably half
I
a
think
million.
they did like 700.
Damn.
I mean, even my mom's house, because like I say, I used to tell people I'm from the hood, but I didn't live in the projects. You
Mhm.
know, my parents owned a home. You know what I'm saying? I had both my parents. My father's a preacher.
Right.
The Vaughns, which is Rogers and Poppy and Rance and all them,
Mm-hmm.
them my cousins, and like my second cousin, my mom's cousins. So their dad was the pastor of the church. Our church is in Vallejo, where E40 gave his
Yeah, right there on Sonoma. Yeah.
on Lemon Street. in
Lemon and Sonoma.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah,
family
cross-
church.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That's our family church.
Right by the
That's why
store.
You well
E40 and
connected.
them grew up in the church with us.
Okay.
In that church, that's where their granddaddy started his whole pastoring in our church. So I grew up in the church. My dad was the assistant pastor of the church. You know, and like I said, my mom and dad, they were married 18 and 14 years old, and you know, so I had that square.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like you say, P7's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
You know what I'm saying? P7 right there. I go down there to the arcade and
Yeah,
put
and
some
if you-
quarters in there and sell some weed.
Right. And if you're coming from North Richmond, or if you're coming from over the rump rail, if you come from over the ramp, I don't know. I think it was just something exciting about waiting at the light coming from North Richmond, or you about to turn to right and seeing everybody standing in front of the arcade of the store. It was like the central part. It was even if it's Central Richmond, but it was like a central part that everybody wanted to drive by.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
All day, every day. All day. Like I said, like you say, that was the avenue. Every pimp, every big hustler, anybody that was anybody or wanted to be somebody drove up that street.
Yeah.
When they
Seven
got their new
Pennsylvania.
car, got finished paying out the paint shop, they drove up our street.
Yep.
Everybody drove up 7 Pennsylvania.
That's exactly.
Everybody. But like I say, that's when things were good.
It was good, but things kind of stayed good. It didn't go bad because you went in a new direction where you was rooted at in the music.
Yeah, well, like I say, I've always, when I started dealing with the street, it was a culture shock to me. You know what I mean? Dealing with my Boo Boo.
Right.
That's my big brother.
Boo-boo, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Him and Carlos, and well, y'all can tell right now, I'm a different species just from them two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My brother's the bully of Richmond. You know what I mean? Knocking out 14, knocking out 18-year-old dudes. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because he know he can. He bully. You know, I had to deal with these fools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then he talked me into getting out there in the street. First thing I told him, dude, you want me to do that? You gotta give me a gun. That's the first thing I told him. You want me to deal with these people? Because I see what these people doing. 8th Street Park. Come on, that's where my mama lived right there. All the pimps, all the everybody. They used to shoot dice right there. The police come, kick the money in the bushes. We go get the money. You know what I'm saying? So I was always, like I said, I was around it, but I never really got all the way in it because I seen my family, like you said, my Uncle Hop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Big pimpin'.
And then across the street from y'all was across the street. Well, his mom, cause Freddie stayed by y'all too.
Freddie Trash and Studio Tone.
Yep.
Freddie.
Yep.
Yeah, Studio Tone, Freddie Trash.
Yeah, I remember Freddie. I remember Freddie who was hanging out with one of our big homies named Big Philip
in
Rogers.
Oakland.
In Oakland.
That's where he that's why he got his head
I don't know if they were brothers. I don't know what
They was real close. They was real close.
Yeah, I grew up right there. He right across the street. Carlos used to terrorize him.
So fly, man.
Carlos, well, he was a spoiled church boy. His mom was in the church, and she had money, and she had things. And he was a spoiled. That's what we used to call a little spoiled kid. Him, Demolus. There was another little spoiled one.
Yeah.
The Demolus was spoiled. Man was spoiled, too.
Man.
They was all spoiled. To me, they were spoiled kids.
Right.
But other people used to thought I was a spoiled kid because I had the same shit. I had mini bikes and all the shit, too. But I used to leave that shit in the garage, and me and my cousins them go take somebody else's. You know?
People thought that about me because we might have a little something different, but they don't really understand. It was kind of hard too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. It was
to
hard.
keep it, because Daddy be like, "Boy, you did this and that. Put that motherfucker back in the garage. You you got something, you can't even use it."
So
that's
let's
torture.
Yeah, let's segue a little bit. So let's talk about this other part of history, right? What people don't really understand is how did you play a part in getting Tupac Shakur to Richmond and to do the things that he did with you all? How did that process go? What was it like?
Weird. Well, I'm gonna go back to we was already doing music.
What year is this?
I'm bad at history. I want to say 92, 3, something like that. Somewhere in the 90s.
Can I say maybe, because Brenda's Got a Baby had to come out maybe 91.
91?
91, 92.
So it had to be in the 90. Because I'm telling you, the stuff with him happened so fast.
Right, because...
You can't. You know what? What my son, one of my kids was 1 year old, I think, at the time. So that was like...
What year did Tupacalypse Now come out?
I think that was either 90 or 91.
Let me see. Because I was in Y. I want to say 91 for some reason. I want to say 91.
91. Probably 91, 92.
Is that
Watch
what it was?
this here.
Yeah, it's got to be 92 because I think him, and Mike Cooley took that picture in
So
92.
so if Tupacalypse came out November 12th, 1991.
Oh, so that had to be 89.
Okay.
90, kind of, like in that era, right. So, I'm doing a record on my cousin Poppy. Poppy's a singer. He sings really good. So off of the 8-Ball Records, because Put died on me, and we was already starting this record with my cousin Poppy at Fantasy Records. So Man came down first Mike Cooley, I was washing my car, Mike Cooley came, and he introduced me to Ray Love, because I guess him and Man was trying to get into the music industry, and I was getting advice from me and what they should do. So he introduced me to Ray Love first. It was like, we gonna do a demo, this and that, or whatever. So gave us advice to where they should go, record and all the stuff. So man came back one day and listened to a tape, and I'm listening. I'm like, oh. Then I hear a voice. I'm like, dang, who's that dude? He's like, that's the new dude that we got. This and that. I was like, oh, he sound cool. You know what I'm saying? And songs kept going on. Every time I hear that voice, I was like, who's that dude? That's the same dude. I was like, dang, dude, that dude voice stand out. I was like, yeah, y'all should just continue this. Just, fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Sound good. Dude, it's crazy shit. I'm at home one day and watching Humpty Hump now I'm on TV.
Right.
Do What You Like and shit.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, talk to my kid's mom. I'm like, dude, I would love to meet this dude. I would like to hang out with Digital Underground like a motherfucker, right?
But you already hearing the voice.
I heard this voice, but I don't know this is gonna happen. Back then you had TDK tapes and you listen to, you know what I'm saying? So we in the car and Will Carr, his mama, little Toyota, listening to, because he came and picked me up on 6th Street at Spookum them house, the McLean's.
Spookum?
Yeah.
He just sent me a message the other day.
So we over at Spookum house, and that's where he came, that's where I was hustling at the time. And he came and let me hear the tape. So like I say, this is like sporadic shit that happened when it happened. So a week later, like I said, I'm saying this to my baby mama. That same week, man called me. Papa, we got a deal with Digital Underground. I'm like, what? I was like, dude, I was just telling Londa, boy, I like to kick it with Humpty Hump. I was like, dude, you get the fuck out. He's like, yeah, the dude that we had on the tape, they signed him. I was like, so what about Ray? He's like, well, they signed him right now and this and that or whatever.
So when you say Ray, you talking about Ray Love?
Yes.
So Ray Love is originally from Santa Rosa, correct?
Yes.
Tupac was in Marin.
Marin, yes.
How did Tupac and Ray Love, who was a person that connected Tupac, Ray Love, and say, let's come to Richmond?
Mike Cooley.
Okay. Mike Cooley. Because we hear Mike Cooley on Pour a Little Liquor. Pac gives shout out to my man Mike Cooley.
Well, like I said, Mike Cooley brought Ray Love.
Okay.
Boom. And then I didn't know that they had got this duet going because I'm waiting to hear Ray Love music.
Okay.
But when he come to show me Ray Love music, they have another guy on it, which was Tupac. Because I thought it was just Ray Love demo. So they had now 2 guys on it.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, I like the sound. I like Ray, but this guy just kind of, ring in my head while I'm here. Just like when I met Free Jack,
Right.
It's something ringing there, you know what I'm saying? So week later, he's like, dude, we got to deal with Digital Underground. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking crazy. So then a week after that, man, it's like, you want to meet old boy? I was like, yeah, come, hook it up. So I went over to Starlight Studios, which is on the south side over here.
Here in Richmond?
Yeah, right here in Richmond on the south side.
So Tupac is recording in Richmond?
Recording in Richmond.
Okay. I will see this, I'm asking these questions for history purposes. A lot of people, it's millions and millions of people do not know this part of the story.
Well, and this is the begin. This is his beginning.
Okay.
This is like I say, I already was doing music. You get some people, you go do some shows, you this and that. So I've already been on the footwork of doing this stuff and doing things. And like I say, this just came out of nowhere. Man and Mike Cooley just came, luck of the draw.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Luck of the draw. That's the way I looked at it the whole time when we were hanging out. So Man took me over there and introduced us, and he was working on Young Black Male.
Okay.
The rap. He was doing, this is when he was starting to work on his rec. And I'm sitting there watching him, and I'm probably, like I told dude the other day, I'm probably the only person in the world that's seen him fumble with a song. He was fumbling, trying to get this one part, and he fell off in the same part every time. And I'm like, I say, look, dude, if you do this, because like I said, I write songs and poetry. My cousin's singer, so I know breathing techniques and all that shit. So I told him, hey, when you get to this part, breathe, and you'll be able to get the rest of it out.
Wow.
He did that. I've never, ever seen him fumble and the whole world that records with him, say he go in and do 4 or 5 songs and this. Dude.
So, go ahead, Patrick.
Nah, it's just interesting because the story that he making the humble beginning of Tupac, right? And it's been said, but not to the broad way you giving it. It's been said that Pac, was in Richmond and stuff like that, right? But the way you give us the intimate details about that transition, man, it's
Oh,
powerful.
transition. Oh, dude, well, like I say, I met him. He was doing Young Black Male. So, political. Trap was his first video. They got me
I love
trapped
that
in this
song.
prison of seclusion. Happy.
That's one of my favorites.
You know,
That was his
political.
first
like
song. That was his first song.
that was his first video.
Okay.
That was his first video that he.
So you
had
heard
his
the song
single.
before it hit, like.
Yeah, every song, all that
So
stuff.
you knew he was coming.
Brenda's Got a Baby. Matter of fact, Homies Call,
That was my
I helped create it.
What?
We helped create, like I said, I'm a writer. We used to write together. This is when he was just coming up and
Hold
doing
on.
things.
You help?
Yeah.
So
And Changes. My cousin Poppy sing on Changes. But we brought that to the table. Changes we actually brought to the table.
that's playing on the radio right now.
It's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, they ain't put my name on it, but
That's the part. That's the
Exactly.
part what need to get out to the world.
my
right
cousin,
there.
like I said, my cousin Poppy or so. But I'm gonna go back to
Okay.
then. Okay. So then, I didn't know his name when we introduced, and then man introduced. He's like, I'm Tupac. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Or whatever. I said, that's a good rap name. I was like, so what's your real name, folks? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, man, my name Tupac. It's Tupac. You know, we Richmond. I'm like, dude, you ain't got a lot to kick it, fam.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? You tell your boy, you know what I'm saying? He's like, no. I was like, dude, let me see your ID. You for real, dude? Your name Tupac? He's like, yeah. He showed me his ID. I was like, dang, dude, that's cool. Then I went to ask him, like, well, why would you use your real name if you rapping? Everybody has a rap name or whatever. This where his keeping it real came from. When we had that conversation, he said, I'm using my name because I want to keep it real. I want people to know who I am and what I'm about. So if I make a name up, I'm not being me.
Right.
And that's where he came up with that keeping it real, keeping it real, keeping it
Right.
real, keeping it real. So
Not to cut you off, but so when you lose my train of thought, he have a song called "You Don't Have to Lie to Kick It." Did that come from that conversation?
Richmond. Like I say, dude, I can listen to a lot of his songs and I can hear a bunch of our conversations in different parts of songs that he was putting out. You know what I'm saying? Because Tupac was the greatest ghetto reporter ever. And I say that because he can take, like, if he was here and we're doing this talking right now, he'll sit there like a sponge and soak up this whole conversation, and he'll make 5 songs out of this.
Wow, that's deep.
You'll hear parts of what we talked about in there or whatever, or he just might take a whole part and make a whole song of it, you know? And that's how creative he was then before the world got him, you know? And I saw that back then. I mean, my analogy when I first was messing with him, I was like, dude, you're going to be like Heavy D. Because back then, Heavy D and the Boys was like,
Right.
boom. And that's why I saw him when I met him. I was like, dude, you're going to be like Heavy D and the Boys. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you think so, Pop? I was like, man, dude, you keep up what you're doing, you're going to be all right. So, but like I said, he was political, very, very, very political. So he got to start hanging with me.
Okay.
Right. Man and Mike didn't have time because they already had invested in him. They,
Right.
you know, have their percent, and they're not into music like me. I'm an artist, and that's what he noticed about me. I was another artist, so I wrote, and he loved me because I write R&B. I was writing poetry and R&B,
Right.
something that he couldn't do. So he liked people around him doing things that he couldn't do, but he can use it.
So let me ask you this before you jump in.
Now,
Fab.
go. You good?
So
I'm just thinking.
is it fair to say that some of the beginning songs or the arrangement of songs, or you co-wrote or helped arrange with him?
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Okay, that's
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Okay.
We were doing that in a bundle kind of situation because, like I said before, I had my cousin. I was working on Poppy. Poppy, which kind of, oh goddamn dog, it's a lot of stuff. So Poppy is this great singer. You know what I'm saying? He's like a real. I mean, if he sat here and sung Luther Vandross behind that curtain, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that's without effects. Okay? So this guy that we got to want to record him, he was the head keyboardist at Fantasy Records over in Berkeley. A Jew, gay Jew dude. Head keyboardist, Fantasy Records. quit Fantasy Records, went and bought a house in Brisbane, built a $500,000 studio to record my cousin.
Wow.
That's how much he believed in his voice. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And this is like right before I'm meeting Tupac. So I'm already in some heavy stuff, you know, that's about I mean, Randy Jackson from the American Idol, he came to interview my cousin because he wanted to sign him to Sony Records.
Wow.
So Billy White Shoe and Vernon Black. Vernon Black's a guitar player that played for Mariah Carey, things like that. So these are all the people that's on my cousin's demo. This is just the demo, not the record. So we already got some heavy bangers going. So I meet Tupac, so he see all this, and he's like, he's floored, like, how the fuck y'all in some shit like this, you know?
Yeah.
He's more into what we're doing than what he's doing with him. He wanted to go more with me, so I used to take him with me.
Okay.
So in the down times, I'm running the street, checking traps and all that kind of stuff.
Is that when he witnessed? So that's basically when he first started witnessing the street life, the drugs, and all that. Because he came from Iran, and it's like at that age, Mike Cooley saw him. Mike Cooley's moving too fast, but I see some talent. I got people across this water who doing some things.
Right.
I'm gonna pass him off to you.
Exactly, and that's what they did. Him and Man. They passed him off to me. I mean, it got to one day we was riding back to his house, and he was with Tupac. He's like, "Pop, man, you might as well manage me, man. I don't never see Mike or Man and this and that or whatever. I mean, you with me all the time. You take me to my shows, and you doing this and this and that. You might as well manage me." And I'm like, "Dude, I can't. That's my family. You know what I mean?
Right.
I ain't gonna step on my
But
folks' feet."
Man was a road manager for a minute, right?
Man was a partner of his ass. They own 25% each of Tupac.
Wow. I never knew that.
They owned him. There wasn't just no road manager, this and that. They had a group, a company together. Tupac owned 50, and them two owned 25.
And what was the name of the company?
I forget what they called it because it changed so many times. Okay. And I want to say it was Out of the Gutter, which that was the last name that I knew that he was making up for the companies and everything, Out of the Gutter Records. And man, they had an actual contract with him.
When you hear people say Tupac died broke, how'd that make you feel?
I don't know how that makes me feel, but I can understand it because, I mean, you gotta understand something about him, which I gathered all this after everything happened and things went on or whatever, because I think he had it. I want to say he had it a lot better when he was camped up with us. Okay. When he was, part of Man and all of us and all that or whatever, because you got to remember this kid never had a home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's living place, spot. I'm from Richmond. I got 200,000 people that know me. That he from here to Tupac don't have that and never had that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it was so easy for him to leave things and go into next situations. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, I'm riding with him one day. He want to kick Man and them out because they not around enough and put me in because I'm around enough. I can't do that because that's my folks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I got on the phone right there, man, this man talking about y'all ain't around enough. Y'all need to come in and start taking him to the shows and shit. He said I'm taking him too much. You know what I'm saying? I had to get them off their ass so he can, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, then I kind of get motherfuckers' character. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get their characters then. You know what I'm saying? And he was a sponge. He was definitely a sponge. At a young age, he didn't have money. He never owned anything outright. Never had any kids. So he never had anything he never built a foundation. Nowhere.
That's where I was going.
He never built a foundation nowhere he went.
Okay, so as you was watching this evolvement from when let me just pivot. When he got with Digital Underground, was he still tied to you guys, or how did that play?
No, yes, it's funny because he's with Digital Underground. We're with him.
Okay.
But we with him, so it's part of the camp. So Shock G, Mun, all we hung out with him. Ramon, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know them at the time, but I got to know them after me being introduced to them through Pop. All the time, I know these people. These are my family. You know what I'm saying? So it was weird that I was introduced to a lot of people that I didn't know that was in the industry through this guy. So as he did his thing with them, we were like, over here with him. And at that time they were splitting up to single members. So each person in Digital Underground was doing their own single record at the time. Okay. So that's when it came into him being, political and this and that. So the change from being political, like going back to, was hanging in the streets with me. Right. He got the, because when I first used to pick him up, I used to pick him up at Shock G House, but they had the Oakland fire when it burnt down his apartment and everything. So he moved to Chancellor, right up the street here. Okay. He lived in a duplex over here in Chancellor. Tupac did.
Hold on. He stayed right down here on Chancellor?
Right on Chancellor. I did a video showing up the duplex that I used to go pick him up.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived right here on Chancellor.
So he didn't just make music in Richmond. He actually lived in Richmond for a minute.
Twice. Yeah, he lived in the marina before he moved to L.A.
Is that before Brenda got a baby? Around the same time?
Yeah. It's all during that same, because I was around when all that wasn't made yet. Because like I said, I met him at Young Black Male. Trap came out for the video. He was still working on his album. And that's, like I said, he started to get more in the street with us, and his music started to change.
Okay. What was Brenda Got a Baby filmed at?
The video?
Yeah.
In Oakland, downtown Oakland.
Okay.
But that song, it was, like, let's say, it was back when it started. So he had went to New York, and he called me when he got home. Pop, man, I got this song. It's like, what are you talking about? I got this song, dude. It's about a girl and a baby and this and that or whatever. He's like, man, you got to come and listen to it. Because, I used to sell him hella weed, too.
Right.
So I was the weed man. If you listen to one of his old songs, The Lunatic or whatever, at the end of it says, thanks to Papa for supplying the dank.
Yep.
That's money in the bank. He was talking to me.
I remember that.
That's before Brenda's Got a Baby and all that.
I remember
that song was way before that. And he come out the booth, man, you hear that, Pop, man? I shouted you out and this and that. And I looked at him and was like, dude, you just fucking snitched on me. I was like, dude, because I'm still in the street.
Did they come get you?
No, they
didn't.
Eventually.
At that time.
Yeah, I'm in the street
This
still.
to be televised.
Yeah. Like I told him, we deep down in there. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of broadcasted me, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm the underdude. You know what I'm saying? But thank you anyway. Yeah. But it was things like that back then that I was like, I don't know about this dude and things like that. I mean, got him his first gun. Right. Dimless sister digging around somewhere in the attic or something. She was dating one of my little cousins, found a gun. And Pop, I got a gun. I was like, dude, you don't need no gun. I called Pac. I was like, hey, you need a gun? He's like, yeah. Sold it to him. That was his first gun. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you got rich history.
Well, my brother-in-law, my sister, that was Brenda in the video, her husband jacked some dude in a taxi one night, got a gold Rolex. Wow. Pud sold it, Pac his first Rolex.
Wow. Came from a jack.
From a jack in Richmond.
Wow.
So, a lot of stuff. I mean, even from him, his jewelry. He came home one time from New York. He had just bought all this new jewelry because this is when he first got his deal. He's wearing all his Nefertiti's and all this stuff, I'm looking at him like, dude, where's the diamonds? We know pimps and all that stuff. We from Richmond, he all juiced. He got some gold on. I'm like, dude, bruh. I called my cousin Maine from North. I was like, man, you need to come show this man some diamonds, man. He, came over there, danced with us. And I called Man. I was like, dude, you disrespectful letting this dude run around with all this fucking gold. You ain't showed him none of your diamond shit. Right. Well, because Man them had diamond plaques. Yeah. Letting this dude run around like this. He started being a diamond man. Like I say, all this shit that me and him used to do and all the shit he started doing, it became a hip hop thing, which I kept looking at it like, what the fuck? I almost felt like Gusto on CB4.
Okay.
I felt like that's motherfucker imitating me and things like that. Like I say, homies call. sitting there one day talking, chopping it up with him, telling him about how we do, you know what I'm saying, when, you know.
So I want to ask you in a nutshell, in your, because you come to know him, what kind of, I know you say it's political, but if the audience was like, ask a question, I'm going to ask for the audience, in behalf of the audience, this what's paying attention to this. What kind of guy you would say, like, your initial impact when you got to know Pac? What kind of dude was he like? Because everybody got this. New York cats got him this way. Oakland cats got him this way. Richmond cats got him. You ain't too much of a voice saying it. All it says, he have a history with Richmond, and then it cuts off. So
yeah, he picked up a lot. Like I said, a lot of our ways. I mean, even in Poetic Justice, when he was calling dudes busters and all that kind of stuff, that was our slang. Sucker for Love,
Right.
that song, that's what we used to call each other. Man, you're a sucker for love, man. And this and that. Get off, you off that bitch. This and
For
this and
sure.
that.
Yeah.
All that little slang stuff is what he picked up from us and our swag. He started to get, like I say, he changed from politically person to this wannabe street mob boss now. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was a boss. You know what I mean? And now he's not just hanging out with somebody. He hanging out with a real boss. You know what I'm saying? I can ride all over town. I can walk from the south side to North Richmond.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with nobody, and nobody have a problem with me. So him being around me, because I had it easy. I'll say easier than most. You know what I'm saying? So with that, him being with me and being able to be right hands on, I walk in the room, everybody in there with guns and dope and all that shit, and nobody's aiming it at us or whatever. So he can see that without feeling harmful or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So he actually got to see these things that he would never been able to do if he wasn't in Richmond. Now in Oakland, he only was claiming Oakland because nobody knew Richmond. Oakland, you got Oakland Raiders, you got Oakland A's and this and that. So he said, so people can resonate when I'm having an interview.
Right.
Papa, I want to, I'll just say Oakland because that'll pop up to him. So it wasn't like he was like, oh, I'm from Oakland. It's not. He just was trying to give him. He didn't want to say San Francisco. Digital Underground's from Berkeley and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So he picked the closest thing that would resonate when he's out talking to people. So that's why he never claimed Richmond. But his heart was in the street of Richmond. Because if you look at all his old videos, they're all Richmond people in it.
True.
Brenda's Got a Baby is full of them. You know what I mean? Trap.
Right.
Not Trap, but Homies Call. Holla If You Hear Me. All Spook 'em in them is in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the young guys that was in the
Pour out a little liquor.
yeah, all my little cousin Randy Dean
Pour out
and
a little
Jesse
Pour out a little liquor
and all
was on it.
them.
Yeah, the whole Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all the liquor.
You see what I'm saying? So it all, that's where his heart was at.
Right.
Because we was part of his crew and team and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Before we get off of that, you said something that was real key, that he was a sponge.
Mm,
By him being a sponge and highly intelligent, right?
very.
When you connect those two, by him coming from New York, coming to Marin, coming to Richmond, coming to Oakland, going to jail, then coming out, being in LA. By him being a sponge, he was able to be around them guys, soak everything up, and rap about it, but not be in it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
All day long.
He rapped about it, but not in it.
Not a
So
part.
by him really not understanding, because for instance, he said, Pappa Doc, MOB, these guys doing this, and I ain't really in it, but I'm around it.
Right. Right.
And I think that played a part of his demise too.
Well, the bigger part of that, like I say, he wanted to be a boss. You know what I mean? He wanted to be the leader of his people and extent. And I mean, he led that way. With that's why I couldn't be a part.
Right.
I'm just gonna say that for you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I would have been considered the A&R director for him, because that was the position he always had me in. So any new talent, like Angie Prescott, she did Part-Time Mother.
Okay.
She rapped on Part-Time Mother, but I was the one to teach her rap. You You know what I'm saying? He give me the music, give me that, tell her this and that, she gonna be in it, and I'm the one coaching it. That's what he used to always call me coach anyway. I was the coach. So I was the one that developed all the talent then when I was there. Because like I say, man, now they didn't have no musical or nothing about it. So that's why I say he liked me, because I had something to give, and he can get things from me. And that's what's my biggest part for him. He wanted me to be the director for his new talents and everything.
Got it.
You know, but I couldn't take his attitude when he, started getting his checks, and especially when that fucking movie came out, Juice. Oh my God, dude. You talking about a turn of events.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like I said, I'm low key. I think that man, Juice came out, dude. He came to my mama's house on Elm. The fucking whole 7th Street was full of people.
Hold on. So he filmed and then came back to the hood?
Oh yeah, he was, dude. I used to be, dude. When he told me about the movie, I didn't believe him. It's just like us, we chilling this and that, and he telling me, Pop, I did this movie and this and that. I'm like, well, dude, where's this and that?
And this is a story right now where maybe, I don't know, what millions maybe haven't heard, gonna have a chance to hear some of this now.
Right.
Because we're hoping that we were able to ask a couple of questions, but people haven't asked you yet. Hopefully,
they haven't. I haven't talked to anybody about these things or episodes or things like that. So, like I said, it's a lot more, because it's things that, like I say, we're on the ground level. So it's a lot of little shit that we been through or went through. Like I say, which made me not want to be even a part of the going forward. I seen things going forward. I know where my foot would have been, or what I would have been in that industry if I'd have stayed doing that. But I didn't see past hurting somebody or somebody hurt me. That part I couldn't see past. That's why I had to leave messing with him.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get off the street to get in the industry to have to be worried about street shit.
Yep.
So when they talk about, you said Pac was very intelligent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so by the time he went from Marin to Richmond, spoke about Oakland. Well, I mean, by attached himself to Oakland, let me say that. And then from there, he get caught up, right? I'm quite sure. I don't know if you know the inside of that, but he did get caught up.
What I've been lately saying to people, if you want to be famous, do a lot of negative shit. Because all the negative shit that Pac did took him up the ladder farther and further. It started off with the police whooping his ass.
Right.
That was the first incident of negativity that happened to him. Put him in the paper, and it started this thing. I mean, I wasn't actually there that day. I would have been, because I used to take him to the bank every Friday. That's where he was going, to the bank. He was at the bank in downtown Oakland, and he would leave the bank and run across the street. There was a liquor store on the corner that he used to go buy his Philly blunts from. And he used to go buy disposable cameras, because that's what's out back then.
Yeah, I remember
disposable cameras. So just so happened that Friday I didn't go. You know what I'm saying? But he called me as soon as the shit went down. He called me, Pop, man, these motherfucking police, man, they just whooped my ass and this and that. I'm like, dude, where the fuck you at? He's like, I'm at the house. I was like, what's going on? He's like, I just got out, this and that. You need to come over here and take my picture. So those pictures of him beat up.
You took
I took the fucking picture.
You
dude.
took the famous pictures?
I took those fucking pictures.
With
a disposable camera, yeah. Because he needed it for his court case.
Wow.
He's like, come take these pictures. I need them for my court case and this and that. So I rode out there, and I said, Mo Preem, I love you to death, my brother, and I know you his brother, but you wasn't there. You didn't take the picture.
So hold on.
Mo Preem.
So people got the story kind of twisted as if he took, as a Mo Preem took the picture, but you really took the picture.
I took the picture.
So Mo Preem was part of the thug life thing and all that.
Yeah, but he came later.
Okay.
See, it was like I said, it started with Man, Tupac, because Man used to be on stage with him.
Right.
He was doing his little stuff at first. And then he had a partner named Stretch. Stretch dead too. He died like a week after.
Okay.
He got shot in the head. He's from Queens.
I heard about him.
But he used to be out here. And then he brought Mo Preem, but Mo Preem was just Mercedes at the time.
Okay.
And Mercedes, the Mellow, quite a nice fellow.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's Mo Frame.
Acapella.
That's Mo Frame, right? So when he introduced us to his brother, he's like, "This is Mercedes," and we like Mercedes. We was like the Tony song, and he started rapping the song. We was like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
nigga, right."
Okay.
So to us, he was more famous than Pac.
Yeah.
Because he had something out. Pac didn't at the time.
That's
So like I say, we meeting all these people. I done met Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature, all these people. I'd been around all these people at the beginning before he even had anything out. That's from being with Digital Underground.
Digital Underground.
They had a relationship. They had a relationship throughout of everywhere, every state, everywhere. They was known everywhere, and they was accepted everywhere. East Coast, West Coast, around the world.
So was Thug Life, how did Thug Life come about?
That's after, I want to say, Poetic Justice. So I'm going to go Juice. Juice came out. Everything was going crazy. Boom, boom. Then, he shot the police in Miami or whatever. He went to jail for that. No, he didn't even go to jail. He got Atlanta. He shot the 2 undercover police. Then that started going crazy. Then he just came one day sneaking around because he had moved to the marina.
Okay.
He moved to Richmond Marina at one time. And he was finishing up Poetic Justice, and it's crazy because, like I said, it's on my birthday. He came pick me up and was telling me about him going to L.A. I'm moving to L.A. because I can walk down the street, make 10 bands, you know what I'm saying, just for an interview or this and that and this and that. He says more money and this and that, and I want y'all to come so we can, I'm not moving no fucking L.A. L.A., dude, gangbangers out there, boy.
Right.
It's just, I've been places with them, and, people show you love and this and that or whatever, but you don't be knowing, you know what I'm saying, what people be saying in the back room sometimes, whatever. But Thug Life came when he was thinking about moving out that way. And he went and got it tatted on him and all that. Right. But I always say he took a part of me and my cousin's record company because we had Pop Life. And we've had Pop Life for years,
Right.
And then, like I say, he's part of us and do things, whatever, and then he ended up with this Thug Life thing. How you gonna come with Thug Life and after you heard us say Pop Life and this and that? So
well, you said he was a sponge.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, sometimes he used to irritate me with that shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I've said things to him, like one day sitting at his house, I'm watching MTV one day because he just running around doing, and I turn on MTV and watching rock and roll and shit, and I'm listening. Papa, man, turn that shit off, man. We don't listen to that kind of shit. I was like, dude, I say, did you see this group right here? I say they sold 100 million records.
Wow.
They're obviously doing something right, and I think you should open up listening, dude, so you can see what's going on. That joker went back and told Madman the exact same thing that I told him. I was like, how you gonna take my speech and give it to somebody else?
Because he's ready to go there. He's ready to go there. He's ready to go there. Yeah. So, you've been doing a lot lately. You've been doing a lot. You've been in the music industry for a long time. And you sent me something about a week or two ago, and I looked at it. It was very good. I watched it once. So tell the audience and people, about this movie you put together, Consumed.
Oh, yeah, we have a movie, Consumed. Free Jack Freeman, he directed and wrote the movie. I co-directed, and I starred and executive produced the movie. This movie, it was the second for Free Jack because he had did a movie called Bay Laws just before that, and it came out well, and he just wanted to jump back in, so I got some funding and jumped in with him because, like I said, he's a talent that he's a great talent, and he's always been and had good perspectives on things. But me, I'm a person that grooms talent, so I know how look at things. But this Consume movie came. I hate to tell the little niche of it, but you watch it, you already know what the niche is of an old remix movie, right? So, but it came across that way, and he got a network of people that he worked with.
Okay.
Robert Porham, Gary L. Turner, and guys like that comes help and shoot also, and I decided to get in this movie because like the story I'm telling you guys now.
Yeah.
If I was a person that was in pictures and all that stuff all the time or whatever, then I would have a bunch of pictures with the story of Tupac and all that, because like I said, I was there with him. I was actually taking pictures of him for him. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of his pictures was me taking the picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you had a show or videotaping, I used to be the one behind the cameras for those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But I'd never been in front of the camera. But that stems from being in the street.
Got it.
When I was at the candlelight, you'll never catch me in no picture with nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I was at the candlelight
But you was there.
all the time,
Yeah.
every night.
Every night.
Never got none of those group pictures. They always pop, man. Come on, pop.
I'm good. Yeah.
Because guess what happened? The police saw them pictures at somebody's house they was raiding, and it was raiding your house next, and then raiding your house next, and raiding your. So so I stayed a lot out of pictures and things like that. So me getting in this film is me coming from behind the camera.
Nice.
And showing the talent out there that I have talent also. I'm not trying to get you to do something that I can't do myself.
Because I liked you in the movie. I saw you. And you got some people in there who we know. We got some rich people we know.
Yeah.
And I love it. Not to give too much of the movie, but when I first was watching it, I like, is it a monster movie? It had almost a dark element to it.
Suspense.
And then they have the up-tempo hood piece where we understand. And then we have the, I don't want to give too much. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't trust a female.
Right.
That's in there. So,
Right.
so we got to trust a female up in there, right?
Yes.
Can you give us a little bit on just on that piece? Why it's so important?
Well, what's my analogy of that anyway? Because I'm born and raised in Richmond. They always say don't trust a bitch. But that's always been that pimp mode or whatever they used.
Right.
I was always taught that anyway. But I always say everybody that's in the penitentiary or something or killed somebody, whatever, it's always got something to do with some woman. Even if you wasn't dating her, it might have been your auntie that got beat up by her boyfriend, or your sister got choked out by some dude at the club or whatever. It's always you being a protector.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff comes out of that. So sometimes you got to sometimes step back on your female and be like, okay, let me kind of adjust this for a minute because they're so emotionally sporadic, you know what I mean? And sometimes they don't understand what they're putting out there. You know what I mean? So you got to be, as a male, I want to protect you, but I got to make sure that this is in the protective kind of, in the right way. You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of groomed that from, getting that, but and then that comes from anybody at that aspect too. You know what I mean? Because like I say, this game is crazy and it's tough. And for a long time, I didn't let people know who my kids were.
Right.
Because in that game, I done seen some things, people getting kidnapped and this and that or whatever. You know what I mean? I've seen all those weird things happen to people. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen, a lot of crazy stuff that sheltered me from things that I couldn't really do.
So what do you want this movie to do? What do you want this movie to do?
I want this movie to, well, I guess my movement is because I left music for a while. I had a 2,700 square foot studio over here in El Cerrito on Jacuzzi. Back there, I used to have a big recording studio back there, but that all filtered down from Tupac. Adrian Gregory, that was his, company and all that. So I ended up being good friends with Adrian and business partners with him outside of Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I was getting relationships, so I always gathered relationships. And I left the music industry. I became a carpenter. I kind of went that route and left kind of free jacking everybody out to do whatever they can do, whatever. So this is like me getting back in this, and my mission is to get Richmond. I don't want to say notoriety because we're already known. People know of us. But we don't have, and I'm not going to only say Richmond, Oakland doesn't have it. San Francisco has it more than any one of these cities. But you need to be an organization of art.
Right.
Your own award shows, your like buildings like this that you're doing dance shows, rap shows, functions. It's got to be all musically inclined. And with me doing this is me saying, okay, I can give product. I know how to take something and give you a finished product. And that's what all this is always about, a finished product.
Right.
But not only a finished product, you got to put the work in. If I didn't make that call to you, I wouldn't be over here putting this work in.
Thank you for reaching out, too.
And like the other day, I'm not usually the one here. I'm usually the one bringing someone in and brushing them up and telling them, hey, dude, this is how you got to do this and that, or whatever. So I want to get my voice out there to let everyone know I want to run a good organization here with everyone, because what you got going on, music is entailed with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The things you're out at events and all that kind of stuff. Hey, I got some positive guys that rap, this and that, whatever. So it's me trying to show everyone is something we have to get together and bring the light to.
And let's do it. And I've been saying up for the longest that Richmond is being so small, it have a strong voice, but it's not reaching the masses where it should. And I think what you're doing is great. And we are loved, to be a part and how we can help out. We help each other out. And I think it's so much talent in Richmond. So many artists, young artists have come through this place. And I think that by the market being the way it is, that they not really getting that good exposure, and then they get the residuals behind it.
Right. Well, it's the bottom line of all that is the networks. So, CBS, NBC,
right?
CNN. If we decide to say, okay, what's our network? You know what I mean? 100 years. That's the network. So everybody who's anybody that's an artist and everything, come right here, because we're going to always show everybody that's around us where we are. And not only that, everybody that's coming here, tell everybody we're here.
That's what we want to do. Let them know.
And and that's a design. You know what I mean? And that's how they can make things better in Richmond. I mean, even if it's somebody podcast radio. Okay, guess what, y'all? We're going to funnel all our music through there.
Come on.
So everybody go listen to that station, and that's what gets you to know. I mean, I got a bunch of folks that say their sons rap and this and this and that. It's so many of them, I can't keep up with everybody. Man. I need to be able to go one place and see them all. Okay, he come in after this one. He come on after that one. He comes on after that one. Then I can start to know who they are. Everything is, come to my page. Come to this page. Everything has to be directed in one area, and that's how it'll start getting some notoriety. Even if you get the Richmond Auditorium live back up, you know what I'm saying? Even this Performing Arts Center, you know what I'm saying? You got to use places like those, and you put yourself in those places.
And I think I'm glad you said, and I think we should be able to. What you think about that? Using the Richmond Auditorium of a podcast live.
Yeah. I'm open to it all, right? Because and you being a historian, you know the business, right? It'd be always encouraging to connect with you in regards to that, right? Just highlighting the things that makes Richmond special, along with guests, bringing people on the premiere. Because without you coming on, people tend to not, like Fahim always taught me, they only know what they see. Right. And so my thing would be, I always look at things like, but I don't want to be oversaturated either. I don't want to have too much of it to where it takes away from you because it's so much. Now when you do come up with something, I say that. Man, I already know what you're going to say. But in this business, in this show business, we know 90% is business and 10% is show, right?
Right.
But in showing that, right, the art has to be, has to be preserved. Right, and it has to be perpetuated, and all these things, these tangibles that make us who we are, that makes us unique and special, and all that. So we help. And you going back to the auditorium, that'd be a great start, man. That'd be a great start.
That's where we started. All the talent shows and all that stuff back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
We did.
So
we did a lot.
It was a lot. Like I say, Richmond, it was full of a lot of good. The Juneteenth back when I was a kid. they used to be like crazy nice, you know.
Yeah.
The whole McDonald's, just
Horses
everybody
everywhere.
celebration, all everybody having fun, this and that. I mean, I would love to go to a Juneteenth, but I'm boy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what these
It's
youngsters
important.
going.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you
And
know.
I would love to, like I say, I mean, y'all mentioned the Bernsteins earlier. That was cracked up with them. Say he got jumped by with the Bernsteins. That was funny. But those are my people, though. you know?
Yeah.
Leland Dalen and Willie
All of
Jr.
'em, yep.
They grew up next door. We grew up next door to each other.
What it was I was with the Coronado, and it was two
Oh,
girls.
Oh.
They liked me soon, like you said, female. Like my first day at school, and I had the long afro, big old afro, whatever, right?
What grade were you in?
I was about like in the third or fourth grade, right?
That
But
shit jumps
one of them
off.
was named Sissy, something like that, if I remember. But they was two cousins. But when I came to class, back then the girl automatically I like him.
Uh-huh.
And they you know what I mean. So I don't know. I'm just part of the vortex of okay. I go here. I'm stupid. You know what I mean? And they had these cupcakes that Colorado used to have. They used to buy cupcakes. So they bought me a cupcake. And in that process, Sammy told me I better not eat it. That's how I bet. Sammy versus him. You better not eat that cupcake. Because what it was she was tied to him. And I was like, man,
She was choosing with a cupcake.
Yeah, but I'm not knowing all of, you know what I mean? So I eat the cupcake. I'm like, man, yeah, you gonna have to holler at me. I'm not knowing who he is or who his family. Man, I met him at lunch, man. I've called myself, swinging on him. He swing at me. I swing back on him, and that was it.
Everybody
they galvanized us. But it wasn't, see, back then, right? You could get jumped on, but you ain't knocked out.
Right,
I was still
right,
on my feet. I just
right.
noticed it was 10 other people with me. So I was like, well, how is it going from him to 11? I'm fighting 11 people. So that was that. But after that, man, we got cool. You know what I mean? We got cool, man. And I knew then. I said, man, whatever situation with a woman or girl or whatever, right? I always said, look, it ain't even that serious for me. I'm not about to be fighting no dude or
Right.
you ain't gonna tell me you have big story. You still talking to him, but you kind of holler at me.
Right.
So it was one of them. That was a valuable lesson for me. But that's your family, though. You said that's your family. You connected with everybody.
That's what I said, dude, it's just I mean, I moved to Fairfield when I was 19. Because these streets kind of, and like I said, I wanted to be away from people because you got to have your hideouts. And
Right.
Fairfield was one of those hideouts I had back
Especially
then.
back then.
Dude, I loved Fairfield because it was 18-year-old virgins out there. And being from Richmond, you could barely find a 13-year-old virgin back then.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? You got virgins out here? I'm staying. But I had my kids out there. They started going to school. And one of them comes home one day and like, Dad, a person named Bernstein? I was like, a person? I was like, I know a whole entourage named Bernsteins, whatever. Well, I met this dude, his last name Bernstein. He said his daddy, I think he said it was Willie, because Willie Jr.
Yeah, Willie Jr., okay.
Willie, I was like, oh, dude, that's your cousin. I was like, yeah, Willie, that's his woo. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, shit, how the fuck they pop
Ain't
up
that
out
something?
here? But
They big, huge,
Exactly.
everywhere.
Yeah, Papa, man, we appreciate you for reaching out to us, coming to the show, and just really giving the world, not us, but giving the world some more raw history. How you come up, what you've been through, how you got to the music industry, the story, man. I think it's great. It's great. That should be a movie itself.
It's maybe we'll get to it.
That should be a movie itself.
Dude, people in the hat approach me about books.
So you got
and all
pictures,
that kind
photos,
of stuff.
and everything
Of what?
of like back in the days with you and Pac and all that.
No. That's what I told you. I didn't take pay. That's what made him upset at me.
Yeah.
Because I would never get into anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Even Brenda's Got a Baby. That video, the reason my sister got that part is because I wanted to be the father in the video.
Right.
But the producer said I didn't look old enough.
But wasn't that a true story?
It's a true story in New York. He read it in the newspaper in New York. And he wrote it and rapped it out there and he brought it home.
Okay.
And like I said, he showed me this. I listened to that thing. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Because Black from Black Street,
Okay.
Yeah.
he's the one. He's the voice. He sings on that. And Ronise, she sings on that. because he couldn't get KC to sing on it, and Black and KC's cousins.
Right.
So that's how he got him on there.
Now, I meet your friend. So Calvin, which is Babes. Was Babes part of what part was Babes?
That's Thug Life.
That's Thug
Now,
Life.
see, that's when he moved to L.A.
Okay.
When Pac moved to L.A., he called me about this thing. I got a job for you, this and this. By this time, me and him kind of had a fallout or whatever, you know what I mean? But like I said, it wasn't fallout where I said, fuck you, nigga. This and that. So, you can call every once in a while, which he did, But I got this group and this and that or whatever. I want you to. I was like, dude, I'm kind of doing something. So Babes went on out there,
Right?
And from my knowledge, Babe put some money behind it.
Okay.
He put some money on it because they couldn't find funding for the group, and they couldn't get somebody to put the money up. So Babes and I think they put some money together and got that record. So Babes got all kinds of ties into that.
Yeah,
that's his thing actually.
Right.
Pac kind of gave it to him.
That's great, man. That's
Calvin,
history.
History. That's my boy.
Yeah, for real. So my last question regards with that, and before we wrap up, Pac always made a comment when he came from prison. He said the other crew he was with left him in there, and that's why he went to Suge. Who was he talking about?
That's bad. That's a big question.
It's a great question because that was crazy. It's crazy, dude. Okay, because him and Man went to jail.
Right.
For the sodomy or whatever that case was. I think Man bail was $1 million.
Okay.
And his bill was like $2 million or something like that, crazy or whatever. But it was crazy anyway. So Man is our family. You know
right, exactly.
And then, I mean, we got dope money, so we can't just go and take a bunch of dope money to bail anybody. So we had to get Man, grandmama, and aunties. So we had to put properties together and all that to get this $1 million bond for Man. You know what I'm saying? So we got Man out.
Right.
He got pissed at Man because we didn't bail him out too.
So he was talking about Man.
Yeah.
Okay. I never knew, but you hear the stories and the articles, and then he rapped about it.
Yeah.
He said, man, they left me up in there, woo, and that's why Suge ended up coming along.
But, like I say, on that story, it's crazy too because only thing he had to do was wait another little 6 months. He had $3 million coming.
Right.
He could have paid for his own life. You know what I'm saying? Why? Like I said, he kind of screwed himself up going to deal with them LA cats because, like I say, that's a whole different monster.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different game. You know what I'm saying? That gang banging thing that they do out there.
Serious.
It's that, that's their thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you're not tied into that or know anything about it, you shouldn't be involved with it or even speaking on it for that sake. Okay.
Yeah. That was a good segue. I'm about Pac, but everything what you brought to us, Pop, we appreciate it.
No problem.
And again, with the albums, with all the albums what came out, but with the movie.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that movie.
That movie, Consume. We want everybody, when it come out, go check out this movie, Consume. It's good. I saw it. Y'all gonna laugh. It's funny. And then it's gonna tell you why you better pay attention to everything what you do and don't be too comfortable. Especially having fun.
And who produced it? Give a shout out to who produced it.
Freeman Williams, Free Jack. He's the like I say, he's the director, the writer of the movie. I executive produce and co-produce and edit the movie. $1 Trillion Showcase is a co-executive producer. Tony Mayfield is his name.
Okay.
And which his dad is Mayfield.
Right.
Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is his son. He got a studio here in Richmond.
Okay.
So all you guys, Robert Porham and Gary, all those guys that came and did some shooting for the movie, that directed and everything. Okay. So it was a fun, like I said, it was a fun movie. Free Jack is really good with his camera and cinematography. We got actually a horror movie coming next.
All right.
I'll be in that one also. I'm having fun. Like I said, I'm coming from behind the camera. I'm coming from behind the mixing board.
Right.
And, like I said, I got music out. I'm on all platforms. So you can look up Pappa Doc. So I got a bunch of stuff out. So I'm still writing and putting things out. I'm supporting the new artists like little Miss My Mai with the blue eyes.
Okay.
She's out there working hard and doing her thing. Then we have Boss Tootie, a young female. That's Renaissee's daughter.
Okay.
So, I be out there supporting. I have my stepson. He's out there doing his thing. Rest in peace to my nephew, Bernard, Trill. He was out there doing his thing. So, the ball haven't stopped bouncing. So we're going to keep moving forward. And then we're just going, like I said, it's about always networking now. So it's time to get this thing and put it in a pot and keep everything in that pot that everybody can go grab.
Most definitely.
Exactly.
Most definitely.
Exactly. In regards to the reach, are you trying to get, like, what platforms are you trying to get it to Netflix? You trying to get a major distribution deal behind it?
I'm working on a distribution deal.
That?
They're kind of backed up on Tubi right now, so that's why I didn't come out right now as we speaking. Right now, I'm doing the promotion side of it to let people in on it so we can talk about it.
Right.
Because you make yourself a household name before things come out. So you want to give the buzz. Once you got the buzz, and then people start looking for it and start looking for you.
Right.
So as soon as we get it on any platform, I will be posting it on my Facebook.
So my last question to you, just say you have any local artists or people who want to use their camera, the things what they know, and they want to start doing like mini documentaries, docuseries, and things like that. Can they contact you? You help them and steer them in the right direction for us?
I can, and I will. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for. Like I said, you young guys that you got, like I say, I would love to try to do what you guys are doing. To me, that's like the biggest thing. What you guys are out there, feet on the ground, talking to these young guys or whatever. Like the guy said earlier today, I wish I had the kahunas for that because, I can talk to some guys because I be on the street talking to them a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I've known some of these shooters and all that kind of stuff. Some of them my cousins and shit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm that voice. Hey, that ain't cool.
It ain't cool.
You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't gonna listen to me, you'll learn. You know what I mean?
You will learn.
And I'm not the one to teach you. I taught you. You know what I'm saying? So it's those kind of things. So, but I would, like I said, I would like to get more. When you guys are doing your things with these guys, I wouldn't mind coming out talking. Because, like I said, I changed my life from that street life to, like I said, I'm a carpenter, but I'm more than that. I work for a general contractor, and I work like when you go on the job site and it's a trailer there.
Yeah,
and those people that I'm in the trailer.
Exactly.
I'm not out there with bags on and doing that kind of stuff.
Okay, and again, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to our man Cam behind the camera. I want to give a shout out to Chevron, our sponsor. And again, we are 100 Years Enterprise, Consequences of the Street Life, Season 7, Episode 2. Follow us on our website, 100years.biz, our podcast, YouTube, 1HYE podcast, our Instagram, 100 Years DOP, and our Facebook, 100 Years Enterprise. My name is Fahim.
My name is Patrick. Peace. 100 Years Enterprise.
We got Pappa Doc.
Yes.
Oh,
Peace,
yeah.
y'all.
Listen and go check out the movie Consume when it come out. Peace, love, and happiness. And we out.